Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing okay. We have a really interesting video today. So I have a customer who was looking, or rather is looking for a NAS solution. So what I've done is I've searched the market and tried to look for a NAS solution for them. The two big players in the NAS market currently are probably Synology and QNAP. I personally do not like QNAP. I find their QTOS or QTOS, whatever it's called, to be very. I really don't like them. I don't like the way they do things. Yes, it's a great performing unit. You know, it works. There's nothing specifically wrong with QNAP NASs, but in using and administering them for many clients, I've always found that Synology is a much more better rounded package. This client of mine, while they do want a NAS, they are a little bit budget constrained, and they do not want to spend a lot for a NAS. Makes sense. So I singled out Synology NASs for my customer, and while they only wanted about 4 TB of space, sorry, 8 TB of space, usable space, because they mainly want to back up their server, which is not very large, and use it as a files store. So to speak, on a network share so that people can, read, write, copy files from that specific share. They have a very, very modest requirement. It's going to be one user. There's not going to be multi-users. It's like a small company with 4 or 5 people. So they really don't want to get into that whole password thing at all. Although they do have Active Directory, Windows Active Directory on their as a domain controller and in their network, they still do not want to go with per user based of access. They want to keep it really simple. Instead of users saving files on their PCs, they would like the users to save files on that network share, simply because if the PC crashes or the SSD hard drive crashes on that PC, they lose the files. But on a NAS, I mean, yes, they can. A NAS is not a silver bullet solution to solve all your file problems, but you can at least catch it beforehand. If a drive fails, rebuild that, put in a new drive, rebuild the array, and you're off to the races again. So anyways, long story short is I looked at a 4-bay Synology for them. I'm based in Canada here, and one thing I've noticed is that over the last course of, let's say, 1 to 2 years, the prices of NASs have gone up tremendously. I remember them being like a 4-bay Synology being cheap. Cheap again is a relative term, $400-$500. Now that same device is like somewhere around $700-$800, right? Another sort of like spanner in the works that Synology has done, which I really don't like. I mean, I understand why they're doing it, but I don't like it, is that to a certain degree, they're kind of mandating Synology drives, right? I do have a customer who is more of a mission critical type of solution, and they were okay paying that Synology tax on the drives. We got them, I think it was an 8-bay Synology 2U rack mount unit. We loaded up with, I think, 8 TB drives. They needed that storage. It was fairly mission critical. So, they were willing to pay for it. But with a small business like this who are a little bit price conscious, 800 or ish 850 Canadian dollars for the Synology NAS, 4-bay NAS. Then you've got a minimum of three 4 TB drives. They're about 110, $120 a pop. They kind of, said, is there a solution that's a little bit cheaper that we could go for? Now, normally speaking, if I wanted to stick with Synology, I would have told them that yes, you could probably get a 2-bay NAS, right? And then pop in two 8 TB drives. You still get your 8 TB. It is cheaper. But when I did the calculations, honestly, the difference in price was not that much. I think it was about $150 or $200. Well, not 200, about $150. About $150, $200 less than the 4-bay option. But yes, it's cheaper, but then they really can't upgrade easily, right? They're kind of stuck with 8 TB until and unless they get two brand new drives of, let's say, 12 or 18 TB, whatever it is. And you have to put one in, let it rebuild, put the other one in, let that rebuild, and then expand the array. And then suddenly you have, 10, 12, 16, 18, 20 TB, whatever it is. So I was kind of looking at different solutions for them, kind of make it a little bit cheaper for them. So I really thought of deploying a TrueNAS solution for them. You could get one of those cheap refurbished mini PCs. They can at least hold two drives in there easily, the 3.5-inch drives. Thought of throwing in TrueNAS in there and call it a day. But when I deal with businesses, deploying solutions like this, honestly, while it is appealing and from a cost perspective very appealing, I think from a resiliency perspective, it is not that good. And my fear is that when I recommend something, I kind of want to stand by my words, and a PC, especially a refurbished PC, 4th gen, 5th gen, 6th gen, Intel, whatever it may be, with TrueNAS on it, is not really a resilient solution, right? You've got a lot of points of failure, the CPU, the RAM, the motherboard, the power supply, that's also a big thing. And it's not warranted, right? Like there's no warranty on that refurbished PC. Sure, they have a 60-day, 90-day warranty, but I'm talking about at least a year warranty. They don't have that. They don't have the option of a extended warranty, which I usually tell my clients to get, simply because, it's not too expensive. And guess what? For a business, it's just insurance, so that if anything happens, at least the device is replaced fairly quickly. Anyways, let's get back on track. So I scoured the market trying to look for solutions, and I did find that QNAP was cheaper than Synology. Again, not by much, probably 5%, 10% cheaper at the most. But again, I really dislike using QNAP, the OS inside QNAP. Long story short is I don't like using QNAP. It's a personal preference. Nothing wrong with the device, performance, whatnot. It's just I personally don't like it. So I was doing a lot of research and looking at solutions for them, and I picked up this for them. So this is a TerraMaster 4-bay unit. So this is exactly the type of capacity or the drives that they're looking for. Fits the bill. And this is the famous F4 423 model. You can see here it's fairly small. Looks really nice. I like that silver look. And the reason I got this specific NAS for them was that this NAS is a Intel N5105 or 5005. Anyways, this is one of those Intel, PCs, CPUs inside here. And I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and I've heard about this. I've read a lot of articles about how easy is it to get TrueNAS installed on here. So what I would like to do, or what I will be doing, is I want to review the built-in OS that's in here, okay? And then perhaps upgrade to TrueNAS. Again, like I said, that the company I'm installing this for really don't have any hardcore needs. It's simply going to be nothing but a file store. In the end, I envision to be 2 shares in there. 1 share is for the server backup. So I've got software on the server that's going to back up directly to the NAS nightly. And then the second, and that share might be hidden. Most probably it will be hidden because I really don't want users to look at that share and snoop around. And then the second share is just going to be a files share. And then, the users in there can go and create a subfolder of, their name and put all their files in there, right? So that's what the company wants. They want to keep it simple. They don't want any integration with Active Directory, although they do have it. All the users, everything is there. They don't want any of that. They just simply want it as a backup for the server, a local backup, and a file store. Now, the next plan, this is again a small company. I would like to do a offsite backup for them. So either another TerraMaster unit in another location that does offsite backup, or preferably cloud backup. Okay. Again, they're very price sensitive, so it really depends on the total expenditure for either solution. So the TerraMaster, I picked this up. This was on Amazon on Prime Day. It was actually a really good price. I think I paid around $400 Canadian for this unit. And I'm really excited to play with this unit because I have heard a lot of good things and bad things about this. One of the things I've heard is that the TOS, I think it's called TerraMaster OS inside here, is not as say, fully baked as your Synologies and your QNAPs. Now, again, fully baked is a very subjective term. I do realize it might not have a lot of those advanced functionalities and built-in apps as QNAP or Synology. But like I said, my customer has very modest needs, and I really don't see them exceeding this need or these needs for a very, very long time, right? Like really long time. So let's get started. Let me go pop in some drives here. I've got two 8 terabyte drives sitting in my basement. Let me plug this in and I will, come back. But just want to show something. Looks wise, very nice. I like, the NAS here, the silver strip, all the LEDs are here. The caddies, yes, toolless. So they've got this little retaining bar over here, which you pop off. You put your drive in, you kind of push those bars in. So again, toolless, which is very, very nice, makes for easy drive removal. Popping it in is super easy, and then just click it. The only thing I saw missing here is that there's no sort of key to lock all these drives. That's something that Synology does, and I think even QNAP, if I'm not mistaken. This would be a really, really nice feature. But again, it's a small company. They do actually have a server room in their basement. And that room is monitored, right? Like the keys of that is with the office administrator, and nobody really goes in that room. So this will be sitting in a fairly secure environment. But one thing I did notice just right off the bat is that, sometimes a lot of these smaller companies don't have a dedicated server room. Their servers are out and about, so to speak. And let's say if you do put a NAS, let's say somewhere on top of a table or anything, the only problem is that somebody could just come in, pop it off, and walk away with one or all of the drive, right? But if it's locked, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. Other than that, it's got two 2.5 gig Ethernet ports in the back. It's got a couple of USB ports, two USB 3 ports. Surprisingly, it has an HDMI out, and the reason is, if I'm not mistaken, is like I said, this is a x86 PC inside, so you could actually connect a mouse, keyboard, your monitor, and boot into Linux, TrueNAS, FreeNAS, sorry, and so on and so forth. I personally think you could even install Open Media Vault on here. You could pretty much do a lot with it. I have also, like I said, seen videos, and there's an NVMe slot, either one or two, I don't remember right now. There's RAM slots, SODIMM slots, so this can be upgraded to make a pretty, small and relatively powerful TrueNAS machine. Again, of course, if you want to really go into, your containerization, your Kubernetes, host applications from it, I really don't think that this is the right device to do it. Those Pentium N class CPUs are, they're good enough, but they're definitely not heavy duty CPUs. And then, of course, there's a limitation of RAM. I think this can do 16 or 32 gigs tops. And yeah, you really don't want to start running all those virtualization apps on this device. However, if it's just a pure NAS device, I think that this has plenty of horsepower in here to, at least saturate a gigabit network easily. That's what I estimate. 2.5 gigs, honestly, I don't know. I don't really have 2.5 gig networks right now. I'm pretty much gigabit only. But maybe in the future, I will be testing this or retesting this with faster network access speeds. Two fans in the back, which is very, very nice. I see a lot of these type of form factor devices have one fan in the middle here. This has two. I like the two because, the two fans run at a lower RPM, still, kind of delivering the same airflow. Plus, it's somewhat of a redundancy. I know it's not true redundancy, but, at least if one starts failing, at least the other one is still there, as opposed to one gigantic fan in the back. So I'm actually looking forward to getting this set up and plugged in and whatnot. So let me go plug in this device, plug in two drives, and we're going to go through the whole setup process of this TerraMaster, kind of have a look at the OS, see what's up. And I'll be honest with you, if the OS is good enough for their needs, I think we're going to stick with it. But if I feel that it's lacking in whatever way, or it's, acts funny, or I don't like it, I might actually, disassemble this whole unit and install TrueNAS on it, right? So this is something we're going to have to see. So let me go install this NAS, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got it installed. It was, like I said, very easy. The toolless caddies were amazing, super duper easy to set up. And I was correct. The two fans are running at a fairly slow speed. You can feel decent airflow from there, so I really do like that. So it picked up an IP of 10.10.10.110. And here we go. So let's see. So let's hit start. Yeah, the CPU I think is a N5095. Okay, it's giving you a warning saying that using a desktop hard drive, for example, like a Barracuda or WD Blue, yeah, it's going to cause issues. So, and they do have a hard drive compatibility list. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh yeah, it does mention what do you call it, SATA SSDs. So it does support 2.5 inch drives. Of course not toolless, but yeah, that's really good to hear. Also, of course, it's got Iron Wolves and all that Exos. Yeah, all the standard NAS drives. So very nice. Let's close this. Go to next here. Do I want a default initialization? So default adopts a default configuration, which is relatively simple and fast and suitable for ordinary home users. Okay. Step by step takes a longer time. Is only recommended for professional users. Let's try custom. Okay, so I do have three drives on there. These two are 8 TB. This is a 6 TB. This is one of them. I think is a Iron Wolf. The other one is a Exos. This HGST Hitachi drive is I think just yeah, Hitachi drive. It is a NAS grade drive. So yeah, sorry about the mismatched drives. I just didn't have three 8 TB. So this array is going to be basically only formatted as 6 TB. So it is what it is, okay? Yeah, it is actually scanning the disk for bad blocks, but these drives are pulled from a working system, so I do know they're fine. We're gonna hit next. Oh, we have to wait. So, all right, I don't like this because, yeah, well, okay, it was pretty quick. Okay, not too bad. Yeah, so it all comes off as good because I do know these drives are good. So we're gonna hit next. It's gonna say data on these drives will be deleted. Sure, hit confirm. Ooh, okay. So we're going to have to install TOS, which is their TerraMaster OS. And since this is connected to the internet, we're going to say install the TOS system online, from online rather. Next. So it says the system will be ready in 10 minutes. So it is actually downloading TOS right now. Let's have a quick look while this is happening. Let's look at the NAS itself because I just want to check a couple of things. Nope, it's not this series. So it's not the Home and Soho series. It's from the, I guess, SMB series. Yes, this one here. Perfect. Okay, yeah. So then, yeah. So there's an F5 model, and then there's the F4. So the F4 means 4 bay. F5 is 5 bay. This is the one we got. Yeah. So there we go. That's how the backend looks like. It does have two USB ports, two Ethernet ports. I guess you could use these for teaming also. So that's we'll check that out. Your HDMI and your power adapter here. So I mean that's how the TOS looks like, but we will see that in real life. Okay, it does support iSCSI. Yeah, it does support iSCSI, which is great. It's got a built-in couple of these servers, which honestly not really necessary. And then it comes with a replacement units within 2 years. So again, this is what I was talking about, using a appliance which is warranted, especially for a business. Now again, for home use, you know I run TrueNAS using commodity parts. Home use is different. I think business is business. Let's, not try to be too cheap in the business side because they're running a business, right? Nice things is here. They have 9 bay models. They have 12 bay models. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I really like their stack. A lot of it's now going to depend on TOS. So uh, I'll be back once TOS is done. All right, so that screen with the TerraMaster installation. installed, and now it's restarting. I said it's saying 5 minutes, so I guess we'll be back after 5 minutes and have a look at TOS and explore TOS and see what's good. All right, so we are back and it is ready to go. So let me set this up really quickly. We're going to call this TerraMaster NAS. Oh, there's no spaces. Okay, we're going to do an underscore. That worked. Username, we're going to put it administrator. Oh, just give me a second. Hey, that works. Email, let me put in an email. And let's do a time zone. So we are Eastern time and send the code. So let's just see if the code arrived. Verification code has been sent. Why did this switch back to Midway Islands? Eastern time, please. So it still hasn't arrived. Now my email, my corporate email does have spam protection on it, so it probably got flagged by the spam protection. So we're going to just say skip verification. Username is insecure. Fantastic. Ooh, okay. What do we do? Let's just do that. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So what is it telling me? Oh, wow. Okay. So it actually can do something similar to SHR, which is Synology Hybrid RAID, which basically instead of giving you only 12 terabyte, because these drives, whenever, okay, so let me backtrack. If you have a RAID system, you can technically mix and match drives. However, it will take the lowest capacity drive, and these drives are then treated as 6 terabytes. So with RAID, at least with RAID 5, it's n minus 1. So it's 6, 6, and 6 minus 1. So that's only 2 drives which are for storage. So that's 6 times 6 is, sorry, 6 times 2 is 12. So you should have 12 terabytes. This is giving me an extra 2 terabytes. So let's click what is T-RAID. Yep, flexible disk array. Perfect. Yeah, so it is something similar to SHR, which is fantastic, which is exactly what I like. Perfect. So we're going to actually select T-RAID and hit next. It's going to create a volume. We're going to call the volume storage. And of course, it's full capacity for this volume, which is nice. You can create separate volumes. So, but we're going to create one volume. So next, aha, it's asking for a file system, which is very nice. So it's choosing between BTRFS and ext4. So while I don't have any issues, so to speak, with ButterFS, I do, again, in a business environment, I would rather use ext4. Again, it says it's very mature, stable, widely used file system in Linux. And again, I mean, to me, at least for me, based on my knowledge, I would feel much easier trying to recover data from a failed drive using ext4 rather than ButterFS. Again, personal things, but feel free to use whichever one. I'm going to stick with the ext4, and we're going to hit next. Surprised there's no ZFS, but okay, that's fine. We're going to hit next and hit next again. It's giving a warning that all the data on the drives will be deleted. Yes, I'm good with that. Initialize, we're going to hit next. And there's some preamble, and that's a cute dog. Okay, really nice. I like the interface so far. It's loading. It's cooking. Reminds me a lot of Synology, which is pretty good. Okay, so it actually has created the storage pool. It's saying in risk, yes, passwords, snapshots, firewalls, all these things. We're going to close all these out, kind of have a look at this. Okay, so you can right click on the desktop, so to speak, desktop, hit settings. Yep, there's desktop wallpapers. I could set my own wallpaper, which is very nice. Um, so that's all good. You can change the wallpaper, so that's good. Now, while this is a very, very cute dog, I would rather have it something a little bit more simple when it comes to business use. So let's try this one here, what this looks like. Oh yeah, that looks very business-like. How about this? That's same. I prefer the darker color, so we're going to stick with this. Okay, so let's close this. Let's kind of have a look at it from the beginning. Let's look at the top bar here. So you click this and nothing happens. Okay. Over here, what do we have? You click this. That's your system statistics, which is very nice. You can see here the volume is synchronizing. CPU utilization, again, it's an x64 based PC, not an underpowered ARM CPU. Again, I'm not implying that ARMs are underpowered, but in NAS environments or NAS appliances, if you're getting the cheaper ones, you will get a lower powered ARM CPU, which greatly limits what you can do. So, yeah, having this Intel CPU is actually a really nice thing. I like that. These are notifications. This is, I guess, alerts. This is changing the language. And of course, this is your user settings. You can, of course, restart, shut down the NAS from here. Very nice. Let's click the first one. File manager. Okay, sure. We're going to do that. And I guess these are all the folders over here. Okay. Looks all fairly standard so far. Nothing out of the ordinary. Let's go to the App Center. Okay, so this is their app store, so to speak. Again, not sure if I'll be using any of these, what do you call it, apps, but interesting that it supports MB, Plex. You can put Docker, web server on there. These are the recommended. We can go to all and kind of, oh, there's actually way much more. Tomcat, Cloud Sync, Clam AV is there. Duple backup, all sorts of other stuff, but I have my own backup solution. So I will be definitely using that. Nextcloud, which is nice. So yeah, you can see here a fairly decent selection of apps, which is good. There's a community section. I guess these are community submitted or curated apps. Why did it push me here? Okay. So I guess, oh, interesting. Okay. So you download it and I guess you put it, upload it to the device. Very, very nice. So it actually gives you a lot of other functionality and capabilities. If you go to apps, let's just kind of see what they have. Let's search for backup just to see what's going on. Okay, UR backup, that's not what I was looking for. Yeah, I'm sure there's some good open source Borg backup. I saw that was a pretty good one. But yeah, I'm sure there's solutions here which would be pretty decent. Oh, I see that there's transmission, which is good if you're downloading torrents, of course, legal ISOs, your Linuxes and whatnot. So this is a way just to do it on the NAS and have it dump in a folder in the NAS, and you're good to go. Tailscale is there for a VPN type of access, which is really, really good. Yep, so that's really good. WebNut, so for your UPSs. Okay, it's got a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go through this list. I think it's a little bit excessive for now. Settings, okay, beta apps, install application manually. So you download the TPK and yeah. Okay, let's go to the control panel. Let's have a look here. So users, yep, that's pretty standard. You got user groups. You can do groups, shared folders. There we go. Those are the folders. You can add the shared folders from here. There's a specific section for ISO shared folders, which is very interesting. Domain. So we can connect this to Active Directory. LDAP also It should pick up the domain users and the domain groups once it's connected. You can mount remote folders, so NFS or SMBs. And what is application? Oh, this is pretty much, I guess, your security, right? Like which is allowed, which is denied, and whatnot. So that's pretty good. If you go to network services, okay, you can change all these ports here, which is really good. Interface. Okay, so I did connect it to LAN 2, not LAN 1. I look at Wi-Fi. Okay, USB Wi-Fi adapter. Interesting. VPN connections, proxy connections. Okay, there we go. SMB services are here. Got some specific Mac OS stuff here. Supports SMB3. Okay, it's actually very, has a lot of features. That's actually not bad at all. FTP, you can enable FTP services. NFS, of course, rsync, WebDAV. Let's look at terminal. Okay, you can allow SSH or Telnet connections. SNMP, UPnP discovery, Windows discovery, Bonjour. Media indexing, of course, to index your medias. Not really necessary in this case. Let's look at storage manager, volumes. So you can see here, this is synchronizing this volume. And you can see here that there's no SSD cache because I haven't installed one yet. And file system compression is not enabled, which is fine. Look at the storage pool. It's ext4. There's no hot spares. We don't have, oh, this is nice. It does support hot spares. RAID sync speeds. Faster RAID repair. Sure, why not? Hit confirm. Yeah, and if you select any element, then this top navigation bar becomes alive, so to speak. Let's look at the hard drive. You can see here, okay, it shows you a graphical interface. Let's expand this. Yep, that's how it looks like, the 2.8 terabytes. And if I click this, no, I can't see anything. Okay, if I click hard drive, there we go. So yes, you can see these are the drives I have in there. Smart is nothing. Hard drive logs, and then Iron Wolf Health Management. So actually it does have the Iron Wolf tool, so to speak, to communicate with Iron Wolf drives to give you better resiliency, right? Because it'll detect vibration, shock, and temperatures, and kind of log that. So that's really nice, and you can run a manual test. Virtual disks, USB device, hot spares, and hypercache. That's the caching. And if we go to global setting, okay, so the time zone, again, it's not set correctly, so we're in Eastern time. Hit apply. Okay, and I do like 12-hour time, so we're going to set to 12 hours. And you can, of course, sync with the, yeah, this is good enough. Language, of course, you can select different languages. These are all the list of languages you can see here. Not a lot, but I guess it covers my needs. NTP service. Okay, so then this can also act as an NTP service. Again, this is a Linux-based OS, I guess, so yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. Okay, we click hardware and power. Okay, there we go. You can adjust the fan the way you want it. It does have a buzzer, so that's interesting. So when you turned it on, I heard a beep from it. It's like a PC type of things. Hard drive sleep, hey, fantastic. Interesting. So I have, especially in a corporate environment, I don't like hard drive sleep, and I'll tell you why. Because what happens is that let's say there's no activity on the NAS, and the drives go to sleep. Or a drive or all the drives go to sleep. And then a user comes in and suddenly starts copying stuff to the NAS. Now, while the drive spins up, it takes 5 to 10 seconds for it to spin up and be, ready to receive data. Now, usually what happens is, the user's like, oh, it's not working, and then weird things happen. They start clicking different places and then probably ends up copying twice, thrice, overwriting stuff. You get support calls and all these things. So I'm actually going to turn off drive sleep because I personally, in a business environment, I don't believe it's a good thing. But in a home environment, it could be a thing. Okay, Wake on LAN is there, which is really good. So the first Ethernet port, LAN 1 supports Wake on LAN. Auto power on, that's really important. So if there's a power cut or anything like that, it just auto powers on. And then, of course, there's a power on-off schedule. So you can, add a power on and power off schedule, which is really good, which I don't think is necessary. But if you want to be really, really secure about it, you can say that, when the last employee leaves at, say, 5 or 6 p.m., give it an hour and then shut off the NAS. And then, if they come in at, say, 7, 8 a.m., an hour before, turn it back on. I like that because of the extra security. It's just another layer of security there. But that being said, a lot of the backups that I'll be doing is going to be at the night. So this is not really important in this case. So UPS here, we're going to hit save. UPS, enabled UPS support. Perfect. Schedule tasks. What is this? Okay, empty recycle bin, customize. What can I do? Oh, okay, you can do different type of tasks. Okay. Perfect. Notifications. Perfect. It also supports, let's send a test email. I don't know if I'll get it if my spam engine will catch it, but I will definitely whitelist this. But this is really good that any issues with the NAS drive failure, I will get an email since I'm the admin, so I can know preemptively if they need a drive replacement. So that's really good. Security, okay, there's a logout, which is perfect. Certificates are there. Firewall, account. Okay, DOS protection. Okay, sure. System. So we're going to hit automatically check and download updates. Hit apply. So check for updates. There's no updates, so we can hit check for updates now. There's no updates. It is running TOS version 5.1.67 and BIOS version 519. Configuration. Okay, you can reset the whole configuration, back it up, perfect, and restore it. Excellent. Really good. And then factory default. Okay, it's looking really, really good so far. System info. Ooh, this is nice. Wow, that's a really nice page here of information. And yes, it does pick up the device temperature, the CPU temperature, hard drive, and the fan. You can see it's 1550 RPM roughly. System load, and that's the CPU right there. Yeah, so it's a Celeron N5095. It's a 2 gigahertz, 4-core CPU. These are the kind of CPUs that are used in those pfSense firewalls, those PCs. I've had one. I ran OPN Sans on it. Really powerful machine. I mean, it does everything that you wanted. So that's why this is a really good CPU, and it's quite snappy. You can see here that the interface is quite snappy. So really nice. I like this screen. Go to Resource Monitor. Perfect. So, it does tell you all the resources it's using. Very nice. Load details. You look at services. These are all the services that are currently running. And the resource occupation. So the CPU time, and the memory. Very nice. Processes. There we go. Okay, these are all Linux processes. So really nice. Okay, these are the users that are connected. Port. Okay, these are all your ports that are exposed in the system. And then, of course, you have the system log. So far, really nice. I like the functionality so far. So far, it's really good. Let's have a quick look at backup. Ooh, excellent. Okay, so you can do rsync backups, file system snapshot. So this is, again, snapshot of the NAS. But of course, it won't be with ext4. It'll be with Btrfs because Btrfs does support snapshotting, which is fine. Excellent. Time machine backup. Now, I want to disable this because this organization doesn't really have Macs, and I don't want to expose this as an extra layer of security or whatever. Cloud Sync. What is this? Okay, let's have a look at this. What is this? Ah, interesting. So it actually can connect to OneDrive and other cloud service providers. That's actually really, really interesting. Okay, centralized backup. What's this? USB copy. This is to, I guess, you plug in a USB drive, it copies it to the NAS, which is really good. TFM backup. Duple backup. Snapshotting, of course, this is with Btrfs. And TerraSync server. Okay, so this kind of exposes the NAS to the cloud, and people can access the NAS data from anywhere. So, but again, this is a company, it's strictly going to be on premises, and they don't really need that. But very, very nice. And if we go to remote access, yeah, this is TNAS Online. Let's turn this on, just see what's up. Do America, hit apply. Let's just see. Let's do this. So I'm going now to the shared link, so to speak. And this should point to my server. Well, I do have a firewall which is blocking a lot of connections, so I don't know if this is going to work, at least in my infrastructure. But it's good to see that the server or the NAS rather is available online. So I'm going to disable this for now, and I might enable this for the customer later. We'll see. And then I do see a DDNS. Let this finish loading. Okay, create. Okay, there we go. So I can also kind of create a DDNS connection. Fair enough. What else do we have? We have help. Let's look at help. Okay, that loads just their website. Technical support. Hey, okay, this is remote assistance and reporting issues. That's great. Security advisor. Yeah, that was that screen that popped up in the beginning. Scan kind of tells you what issues your NAS has to make it a little bit more secure. Anyways, we are going to check this out a little bit later. So I want to keep this running because what I'm going to do now is let me go to this. Let's see, is it available on the network? Ah, there we go. Perfect. So there's a public folder it creates and a ZTech folder it creates. So do I have a read-write access here? I definitely do. Okay, so the NAS is actually working. Let's copy something. What am I going to copy? All right, let's copy. This is a big 22 gigabyte file. Let's look at the performance. Oh, very nice. It's well, 70, 80. Okay, it is fluctuating. Okay, it is kind of capping out at 100 megabytes a second, 108, 110, which is exactly what a gigabit connection is. So that's really nice. It's performant. And all this is while the drives are synchronizing. So that's why you're seeing a little bit of the fluctuations. So that's great. And you can see that even despite doing the synchronization and the copying, yeah, you can see it's fluctuating quite a bit because of the synchronization. But despite doing both tasks, you can see the CPU is still not really taxed that much. Honestly, this is so far looking really good. I really do like what I'm seeing here. Let me look at the shared folders. So yeah, the public is the shared folder. Gotcha. I guess each user gets their own folder, right? Okay, so interesting. You can set a quota for a user, but it only applies to the ext4 file system. So see, that's the issue, right? If you choose Butterfest, you gain a couple of things, snapshotting, whatnot. You go to ext4, you gain a couple of things, and you lose, and so on and so forth. So, okay, it is what it is. So can I create a new shared folder? Yes. And I can, of course, hide it, which is also really good. So if I create one, yeah, it's on the volume. Let's just say YouTube test and hit next. And I actually want to disable the recycle bin. Well, it really depends. I mean, if it's the user folders where they're storing their files, the recycle bin could be a good idea because if somebody deletes a file by mistake, they can recover it. So I'm going to, let's disable it for now. Set permissions, perfect. So I can actually set this share to be have no limit. Okay, interesting. Next, confirm. And if I go to here, I should see that folder shortly, I guess. Yeah, so you can see that the file copy is actually slowed down tremendously. Well, no, it's actually pretty good. Here it is showing there was a little bit of a dip. Then it goes back up. Let's see if it actually created the folder already. There we go, YouTube test. Yeah, I guess because of the synchronization and the copying, it is taking a little bit of time, but it did create it. So very, very nice. Let's go back here, click this. YouTube test, can I create a folder? I see the slowdown just because of the excessive I/O that's going on because of copying and whatnot. But you can see here that despite doing all of that, it's pretty quick. I mean, it was doing all of this, and CPU utilization is going up, but still, there's plenty left in the tank. So I'm quite impressed, actually. If I click Control Panel, I think it was, click Home, and where was it? Yes, this one, Overview. Here we go. Resource Monitor. Let's see here now that it's doing the copying. Is it still copying? Yes, it is. Settings. Oh, perfect. 30 days is good enough. Yeah, well 30 days is good. Yeah. So there we go. So now you can see the graphs a little bit better, makes sense. You can see the CPU load is going up. All the load averages are going up. Wow, that's a lot of good information. I'm really impressed. Even shows your network I/O throughput. This is really, really slick. I like it. And of course, this is a window, so you can slide that time. It's pretty good. It actually tells your system is running slowly. Interesting. Yes, it has 4 gigs of RAM, system memory. The base OS, as long as you're not installing a lot of apps, really doesn't take a lot. 600 and say round off to 700 megabytes. It's pretty good. Very impressive. The CPU is being taxed right now, so and the copy is actually done. So actually, the copy should be in public. There you go. That's really, really nice. Very impressed. Let's do another copy really quick. Let's delete this. And how about we do this? Yeah, so I'm going to probably wait until this is resynchronized to see, the speeds. It is fluctuating up and down because of the resynchronization or the synchronization. which is basically rebuilding the whole RAID parity information. But even despite that, it is still doing its job, and I'm thoroughly impressed. Really, really nice. So I don't know. I still. What do you guys think? Do you think this is good enough for a customer? For me, honestly, it is more than sufficient. All I honestly need to do is just create a user for them. It's going to be a shared user, so to speak. Um, there's a guest account. I can also enable that. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So it's disabled. So I can actually set up, enable the guest account. Yeah. So, for this customer, honestly, it's going to be a user. Uh, you know, I'm going to delete this user, of course, at the end, but it's going to be a user for them, shared username, just to access the NAS. Something like maybe NAS and then password is, NAS, something as simple as that. Because they don't really, it's a tight knit office and they don't really have any concerns about files and sharing and privacy and all that because everyone's kind of working on the same thing. So the collaboration is more important for them rather than uh, privacy, so to speak. If they want to have private files, keep it on your PC, but everything else sits on the NAS. What else was there? Yes, you're going to say that why not OneDrive? Why not Office 365 for this collaboration and stuff like that? The reason is because the organization does not have Office 365. They have Office, they're your Office user, but they bought perpetual licenses, right? So I think they're using Office 2016 or 2019, something like that, and they're more than happy with it. They really don't need the subscription. Furthermore, their email host is a third-party POP IMAP provider, so to speak. They're using Outlook to connect to it. It's been working really fine for them, so there's no need to change them at this stage. So honestly, the NAS is primarily for the server backup because right now they are using external drives to backup, which is not really efficient. And sometimes they also forget to do the backups, and that also causes an issue. And mainly for file sharing between the users. So hopefully you like this video. Definitely let me know in the comments if you're interested in me kind of installing TrueNAS on this system. Now, I'll be very frank with you, after kind of going through this system quickly, I haven't really gone super in depth. I'm quite impressed with the TOS. It does look fine. Performance seems also to be fine. And I would definitely use this for my customers. Again, it depends what the customer is looking for. My customer is looking for something very simple. But again, as the needs kind of change, then of course, I'm sure maybe TOS might not be sufficient or might show its shortcomings. Anyways, definitely let me know in the comments below if you're interested in seeing TrueNAS on this device, how it works, and all that other fun stuff. Let me also know if you're interested in me kind of reviewing this device with an SSD cache, NVMe cache in there to see the kind of differences. I don't really see a need for it simply because with a gigabit network, there's only so much caching that can happen. But of course, if I had 2.5 gig, I think it would help, definitely help. But definitely let me know. I'm willing to try it out if you guys want, the TrueNAS or the SSD caching in there. And hopefully like the video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and see you soon.